Rather just do the lives these days. No videos upload on my phone. I still have maybe four or 500 videos, new videos, shorts and stuff. And then, of course, still content from Southeast Asia, moped rides. For about 5 weeks now, finally kind of cutting into the number. Many of you ask me, how much is it? How much is it to get out of this mess? So there's two numbers. One, probably at this point, I have about 6 months, need to come up with maybe $6,000. When I first got here, I was able to take advantage of balance transfer that will come due in about 5 months, 2 weeks, somewhere in there. I have not made much headway against the number. Um, the number being the reason I returned to the US. I mean, frankly, I returned. I feel like a job was the way to go. While I was living at the Las Vegas airport, I felt like, man, we're going to need to do a car as Ubers, public transportation, just all the above was adding up. But now living somewhere, I need to attack about about 15 grand would bring everything down. That's negative equity. Obviously, I could sell the car for something. Negative equity of the car is about 3,500, 5 grand, somewhere in there, depending on, of course, how many miles I end up doing. So I might pay more, right? Because the car is worth a lot less with high miles on it. So the car being one of the ways I make probably the most money, the most money and lose the most money. Um, I'd like to at least get the negative equity paid off down and then get rid of the car. The next thing, of course, is to lower the credit card payments. I took on more credit card debt to return. Obviously, like I said, 15,000 probably would fix all this. Even though I'm living in Seattle, the rent's halfway reasonable for the money around here. That's one of the things I think that I feel like AI is setting prices and AI does not understand the market. Good example of this is the Albuquerque market, right? Albuquerque, not known for good wages at all. When I was there, I was making 21.50 an hour. And breaking even. I mean, of course, I was at the Siegel Suites at $315 a week frankly, I was just like breaking even. I would pay the bills. I wouldn't have much left, and of course I would be living in a pretty dumpy joint. Here's much better, but also, in the room for rent. Thank God the other roommates seem reasonable so far. Well, I mean, it's been five weeks right now, right there. Everybody stays out each other's way. One shower, three people, and then there's eight people living downstairs. I don't know much about that. It's two different worlds up and down. The car needs tires. That's the next thing I probably face, other than the steep cost. The sparks are very, very poor. The reports I got were Seattle was pretty good. Sporks are very, very poor. However, they're, 7, 8, 11 miles. How much can you pay for that? But pretty bad. And the apartments are crazy. Why? Because terrible parking. When I was in Seattle before, a guy was all grumpy that I parked too close to his house. But here we are. I don't know how to do these live streams. Just look into something easier than shooting the video, because I'll take a take or two sometimes if I thought that was a shitty take or whatever. But like the choking on my spit and shit, I don't cut anything out. It'd be a ton of work. It'd be a ton of work. These guys that edit these videos and stuff, I get it. I talk like a tart or whatever. Totally fine. You have to speed it up. Excelente, speed it up. Whatever you gotta do. Appreciate you all very much for watching, tuning in. Unfortunately, so I have not used the credit card right now 8 days. It's gonna take a lot of days. Every spark, I pay something on the card, and it's the first couple weeks of that. Normally, I'd wait a week to get paid. Normally, a decent amount of money, but also outlaying a decent amount of gas. Probably other than airline tickets, gasoline is on my card, and I don't know, maybe a little bit of eating out. The worst charges. You've consumed and now you pay. So my goal is really in October, like, don't use the effing card anymore. And I like want to try to get at least a few more things, like one, an office chair. I got a used office chair at this office chair discounter, like $40. I go in there, swipe the old cardy card. So I just basically, to clarify one of the more interesting questions that come up, or clarify, no, I still have not addressed the car registration. The car is still registered in Las Vegas. I switched car insurance companies because my insurance was ridiculous the first go round. Uh, Getting insurance again when I came back from Asia and bought the car on the snap. The deal almost didn't go through because the car insurance was so high. I was like, "Oh, F that, like, I'm totally not paying that." And they came down the price and tried to do a little more, and I might be in nowhere's land without a car. I don't know what I would do for work, frankly. The Spark, it does not pay a lot, but it does pay something. Uh, I thought about door dashing. I think maybe DoorDash might be a little bit better, in this area. People ask me what I mean by expired programming from some of these delivery apps, like, of course, Walmart's a little newer, but, Amazon, I mean, that app's 20 years old. Wouldn't say it's exactly expired, but it's not up to today's standards. Lots of bugs in these apps, and the way things are being programmed these days, these apps here are really, putting band-aids on some of this stuff. Work with very old devices. So it's kind of like, I mean, I run this from my iPhone, and most of these things are Walmart, for example, are running these on devices I believe are 15 years old. It's a little scan slash handheld thing. Anyway, I am here. I am not ha don't have the technical capability to spark and to live stream and to do all that stuff. It's very early in the morning. I was here earlier with no Sparky Poos, 0. Pain in the rear. Very unreliable, but, the goal is just not charge a credit card. We can do anything, even gamble. Oh, we'll talk a little bit about that. Oh, yeah, the gambling. A lot of people like to talk about the gambling. Frankly, I have not made much money. Um, what you see is what I basically have done. Very, very little. Um, Not much more to it now. I want to take more shots. I mean, when I came back and I knew I was coming back with 400 bucks, was give or take a few bucks. I mean, I was coming in purely on my credit card. I knew, I was like, fuck it. We're gonna do some gambling. Gambling being a long time side hustle of mine, and frankly, I feel like getting getting away from it for 3 years was interesting experience, maybe even an out of body experience. Why? Geez, I just feel like I've gambled so long. Um, and another interesting thing, I'm really glad I thought of this because the same thing. So Danny and I quit, right? He went back, fell off the wagon. Oh, it sucks. I fucked up. I'm getting back on the wagon. And here I gambled. It was like effing an ex-girlfriend or something, you're like, "Ah, it looks good right now." I really lost my taste for it. However, I still think there's a reasonably good chance where I need some luck to get out of this and put up a couple $100 here and there to try to get out of this. The shots that I've gotten is basically very short, very scared money, right? 100 here's. However, I've been playing, 50 cents, dollar, which is, if it hits, at least there'll be some money. But along with the overall experience um, of the last 7.5 months, I just have not felt like, I've gotten a lot of good shots. It's been super hard. And I feel like the casinos are not giving it up too much. Um, but yeah, also, another kind of talking a little bit more about the experience of quitting 3 years. I don't know. This really comes back to what I feel like. One is gambling, not much of an addiction. I think it's in the category of like video games. You want to play video games, you enjoy it. Is video game addiction a thing? There's, I contacted one of the leading experts of gambling recently, talked again. Um, they're now looking at different, you know, we got, sports betting, the crypto, all this, all these undesirable situations, right? Oh, stock trading, yeah, for real. So I don't give or feel much it's an addiction. You you want to quit, you're gonna quit. I do feel like, of course, going down the journey with Danny, having more of a partner, feeling more accountable, help that go a long ways. Also, nothing went further than I was ready to quit. Otherwise, you don't quit. That's with anything. You do all the rehab or whatever you want. It really comes down to a very simple thing. Of course, gambling, not much chemical or whatever, but frankly, I don't feel like there's a whole lot of addiction situation with it. Same way with video games. What, they want you to play a long time, right? Oh, you're addicted to video games. Well, and going back, I may have missed the point. Circling back a little bit with Danny's experience being very similar to mine. What happened? We both ended up in debt. Why? Well, we did something else with our life other than gamble. We both did something else with our life other than gamble, and um, I don't know. I don't feel like it's been huge impact. Actually, underwhelming. Why? Because I mean, even with everything I've done, even leaving the airport or whatever, or living in the airport, landing, knowing that we're just gonna do this. We're gonna fucking do this. We don't got a lot going on. Why? Because we've spent the last 5 years feeling like we're leaving. Well, as it turns out, we're coming in hot back to the United States. Oh, by the way, with nothing. Anyway, Walmart. I guess I'll catch you on the next live. How do I stop this thing?